RatchetCade. You already know it's me. I'm Ratchet. Woo woo. I'm Cade. What's up, guys, and welcome back to RatchetCade Relates. You know what to do. Like and subscribe. Come on, I'm waiting. Go down there. Click subscribe for more weekly videos. You know what to do. So anyway, I am in college, as you guys know, and as of right now, I have 2 beds and just me alone because my roommate left me. So I'm gonna tell you guys my roommate horror story. Hope you enjoy. So here in Illinois, where I'm from, to find a roommate, you can either do random, you can do it with a friend, or you can go on the college's Facebook page for your class. So for the freshman class of 2023, which is me, there's a freshman page on Facebook, and you just write a little bio and post a bunch of pictures and say like, hey, these are my interests, this is my major, and I'm looking for a roommate. There's like 10,000 people in this chat or Facebook group, whatever you want to call it, and you scroll through looking for a roommate. Now for me, it was a struggle finding a roommate. I looked and the worst part is you have to do it like at the end of senior year, like before summer even starts, anything, because like they go fast and you got to sign your housing contract by May. So it's a struggle. You got to do that before then. But anyway, to find a roommate, it was a struggle for me because, of course, I have to room with a boy. Now, like I said in my other videos, I have no guy friends. All my friends are girls. I am intimidated by guys, and I have nothing to relate to them, to be honest. So I wanted to find someone who is like, you know, normal, maybe even gay, but like, you know, not crazy. So most like the regular people just do random because most boys are like, yeah, I don't give a shit, I'll like live with whatever. So all of the guys on the Facebook page were either like psycho weirdos or jocks, which I'm not compatible with either of those. So it was a struggle for me to find someone to room with. I looked for months. And when I finally found someone that I thought I was like compatible with, they were like, oh yeah, I already have a roommate, like sorry, we can be friends though. So we kept talking for a while, and as time went on, I talked to different people to be roommates with, and one of them turned out to be a homophobic Nazi, which I'll make a separate video for that one. But anyway, time went on, and the guy that I thought I was compatible with got into a fight with his roommate and said they're not rooming anymore. So I was like, oh my god, like we've been talking for so long, like can we room? And he was like, yeah, of course, like let's room. And I was like, oh my god, so relieved. For 3 months I had been looking for a roommate. All these girls are like, oh my god, I found the best roommate, like I posted yesterday. And I'm like, bitch, how? Okay, I can't find a roommate in 3 months. For the purpose of this story, I'm just gonna call him Kasey. So Kasey was like, yeah, we'll room together. And so we had been talking for a while, and I didn't even know he was gay, but like I had a hunch based on his Instagram posts, because you know you can kind of just tell like most of his friends were girls, and a lot of people would comment things like strut baby, and like I don't know, but he wasn't like too gay and he wasn't too like masculine. He was more like me, like in the middle, which is what I was looking for. So it was like all perfect. He said that he liked the environment like me. He was like a chemical engineering major and I'm a graphic design major. So I was like, okay, whatever. We both like the environment. We have some interests similar. We both have like mostly girlfriends and all of that stuff. So it was all fine. We FaceTimed a couple times to like fill out our housing contracts, and that was it. We had Snapchatted all summer, and we planned to meet up because we only lived half an hour away from each other, but like, you know, things happen, summer is busy. So backtrack. So when I texted him at first, like before we initially like confirmed rooming and everything, I was like, hey, I need to ask you, like, how do you feel about gay people? Like I of course wanted him to be like, oh, I'm gay too, but he didn't. He was like, oh, I'm a very liberal person, so I'm very understanding and like open. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gay. He's like, yeah, I assumed. And I was like, how about you? Like, are you gay or bi or anything? He's like, no. I was like, bitch, you are, but I didn't say that. Now, eventually, he told me that he was bi, and then eventually he told me that he was gay, and like, I don't know, he wasn't out, it was confusing. I don't know. I went to the Pride Parade with my friend, my first ever Pride Parade, the big Chicago Pride Parade, and he texted me, and he was like, hey, are you at the Pride Parade? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know that? So he saw me on Snap Map, and like, it was the weirdest thing ever, because I planned to meet up with my college roommate for the first time ever at the Pride Parade. So, I mean, that's one way to meet a roommate. So we ended up meeting up. He went with his sister and his sister's friends, so he didn't have anyone to like hang with. So he came with me and my friend. First of all, he was 6'3", which, oh, hell no, that was a shock. I was like, hello? He was real tall, let me say that. You know, everything was fine. He seemed really nice. But the Pride Parade was like really fun, and he was like convincing me to get Tinder and like Grindr and all this stuff because I was like just about to turn 18 and like I was so inexperienced with everything, and I was like, oh my god, look at him, like he's getting me to try new things, like college is gonna be so fun together, we're gonna like take on the world, we're gonna eat dinner together every single night, and it was like going really well, and I thought we were compatible for each other. So now we hung out. I went to his like city's fair, like county fair or whatever, and I met his friends. He was always a little bit like cocky, but I thought I could get past that, and I just like I was just so happy that I could find a roommate at all, that I just like was able to look past the fact that he's a little bit cocky and thought he was a little bit above me, because I was like, whatever, as we get to know each other, like things will work out. So when I went to like the fair, his county's fair, he invited a Tinder date to come. And I was pissed off because like this was supposed to be our day together to like get to know each other because we're gonna be living together in the same room. And he was like so rude and like clingy with that guy who he had just met. It was their first date. He invited the first date to like me and his hangout. And I literally walked behind them as they held hands. I was so upset. They made me a third wheel. I literally sat in the back as they held hands in the front of the car and drove me around like a baby. I literally wanted to cry. I was extremely angry. And then I was like, you know what? He's my roommate, I can like pass it, it's like one mistake. So I invited him to my county fair. And he came to my county's fair like a couple weeks later. All he did was cry that that guy had dumped him and call him on the phone and scream at him and made the whole night about him. So there were a couple red flags that I should have seen. I liked the fact that I had a guy friend for the first time ever, and like I didn't want to have to find another roommate because I was like, he's good enough, he's nice, like whatever. The year starts and we move in. Everything seems fine. He introduces me to a bunch of his friends because I didn't really have too many friends at college yet, and he did have a bunch of friends who were coming here. So he introduced me to his friends, but like he was kind of ignoring me, and I was just like, well, they're his friends, whatever, I guess, you know. And everyone was like, I'm so jealous, like you and your roommate are already like best friends, like ugh, I don't even know my roommate, like it's gonna be so awkward, like you have such a leg up on everyone else because like you're gonna go in knowing him. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, like I did not expect to be friends with my roommate because, you know, everyone thinks that, but like we're actually friends, and like yeah, this is amazing. And everyone was so jealous of me, and I was like, stop, oh my god. First night of college, we stayed up like an hour talking about like boys and like all this stuff. But I started to realize, like, every time he would talk about a boy, I would be like, oh my god, like, I'm so happy for you, like, I really hope it works out. And when I would talk about a boy, he'd be like, it's never gonna work. And I was like, that's rude. And he's like, what? Your type is, like, unattainable. So you need to change your type, like, it's never gonna work. And he would say things like that to me that would, like, really put me down. But, like, you know, now we weren't dating, but like an abusive relationship, like you don't realize it's an abusive relationship until you're out of it. Like he would always be putting me down and pretending he's above me and like all that stuff, and I think he really liked feeling that he was above me, which is gonna play into the story, honey, don't you worry, okay? First night I was like really excited. I was like, wow, we're actually friends, like we talked for so long, like this is gonna be fun, maybe. And you know, as time went on, we got busy and things happened, and I would come home late and he'd be sleeping, and eventually we got on this schedule where he liked to go to bed early and wake up early. So, and I'm the complete opposite. I come home really late and I wake up really late. But I obviously have classes and stuff. But so every night I would come home at like midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, and he'd be asleep. So I would sneak in with the lights completely off, pitch black. I would sneak in with my phone flashlight like this, not making a single noise. Like and we're both very clean people. We're both I'm a very respectful person. So like I did not want to cause any drama. So I would sneak in really quietly, and he would already be sleeping. So it's not like he had trouble falling asleep or like I woke him up. Like he was already fast asleep. I would sneak in, like I would go shower, I would go get into bed. I never turned on the lights, I never slammed a drawer, I never did anything. Like I was so silent, and I tried so hard to be silent. Like I worked so hard on being the best roommate I could. So obviously in the beginning of the school year, it's like August and it's hot out. And we have an AC unit in our room. Now I'm always cold, like I'm always freezing. I have really low body heat. Even when like I run my hands under hot water, they're still cold. So he liked to keep the room at 65 degrees. Now, if you don't know, that is freezing as hell, bitch. Okay, even in the summer. At first, I was like, can we like turn it up? And he's like, no, I can't fall asleep unless it's at exactly 65 degrees. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I let it go for like the first couple weeks. But it was like really miserable. I would wake up in like a cold sweat, shivering, and like I couldn't fall asleep because it was so cold. And when I went into my room, like I couldn't even study in there because it was too freezing. Like I literally couldn't breathe in there. It was so cold. And also, he never came home. So he would leave in the morning for classes, and he wouldn't come home until it was time for bed. He would study all day at like the libraries and stuff. And I was the one who would come home during the day, like, between classes and stuff. And it was freezing, and I didn't touch the thermostat to be nice. So as time went on, I would come home late. He would already be sleeping, and then he would have classes earlier than me. So we never talked for like a while, and I felt really bad. I was like, wow, we're on such different schedules. Like, like I wish we were like better friends, because I really thought we were gonna be friends. So I texted him one day, and I was like, hey, do you want to grab dinner soon? Like, we never get to talk. We're on such different schedules. And he answered me a day later and was like, sure. Okay. I was like, all right, that's clearly not ever happening. And things started to turn. Like, his attitude towards me just started to get weirder and like ruder, and I didn't know what was happening. And so one day I was at a meeting for the school newspaper, because like I said, I'm a graphic design major, so I was a designer for this. I joined the school newspaper to be a designer, to make like graphics and, you know, help lay out the pages. And they were reading off a new recruits list. Like, at the first meeting, they were like, all right, let's read off all the new names of this year's newspaper. And they said my name, blah, 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 and they got to his name. They said my roommate's name, and I was like shook to the core, and I was like, he didn't tell me he was in this. Like, we're in the same club. That's amazing. Like, maybe we can actually spend time together. Maybe we can have some of the same friends. I texted him. I'm gonna get the actual receipts up so you guys believe me. Our school's newspaper is called the Daily Illini. So I said, you're on the Daily Illini? And he goes, yeah. I said, me too. Why aren't you at the meeting right now? Because I looked all around. He wasn't at the meeting, but they said his name. And he goes, because I cannot be. I contacted them. Why do you need to know? Excuse me? Why do I need to know? I guess I don't, but I was like excited that I get to have a club with my roommate, and like we haven't talked in so long. What do you mean, why do I need to know? How rude is this bitch? And I was like, So I didn't answer him. I did not answer that bitch. He texted me a little bit later and was like, I think you could tell I was mad. He was like, I could not attend the meetings because I had to do this program for blah, 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 shit. Whatever. I didn't want to cause a fight, so I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then he goes, also, just please keep making sure you don't make a ton of noise / light when I'm sleeping, because I woke up a few times this week. Excuse me, bitch. I work so fucking hard to make sure that I walk in silently. I'm a damn mouse. I don't turn on the lights. I don't make noise. I don't do shit. There are plenty of roommates who stumble in drunk every night, who flip on the light, who wouldn't give a shit about their roommates sleeping. Like, I am so respectful to this boy. Like, he doesn't understand how good he has it. And then I was like, excuse me. Like, I didn't even respond to that because it was so rude. And so I started to realize, I was like, wait, he like won't talk to me anymore. Like, he's acting really weird towards me. And like, what is his problem? So now my friend joined the same club as him. This was like this leaders program for his college, like his individual major's college. And she went up to him and was like, oh my god, you're Cade's roommate, right? And he goes, yeah. And she's like, huh? And then he's like, nothing. And then like a group of kids got together and he was telling them about his horrible roommate, which is me. And he goes, guys, you're not gonna believe this. I'm trying to get into med school and my roommate's a fucking art major. Like, isn't that a joke? Whoa. I'm sorry. You think I just sit in my bed and sketch all day? Bitch, I have classes, okay? You know, I have hard assignments. I still take gen eds. I still take hard art classes that are still, you know, I don't just paint all day. I'm actually a graphic designer, which is very complex. Like, okay, maybe I'm not curing cancer like you are or whatever, but everyone's major is hard, you know? I'm not just like coasting through college easily, and it's my freshman year too. Like, I'm still getting used to it. And then he would tell them, he's like, he wakes up at 4 p.m. every single day. Like, it's disgusting. Does he even have a life? Bitch, I have classes at 10:30 in the morning. What are you talking about? I slept until 4 one time on a Saturday morning when I had stayed up really late with a bunch of friends. So don't you dare be saying shit like that. Like, he made up all these lies about me, talking shit about me behind my back, and I was like, this is not okay. Like, who do you think you are saying these things to me? Or he didn't say them to me, but he literally said it to my friend. She said she was my friend, and he still said them to those people, including my friend. So it's, as you can see, it started to get real out of hand. There was one day when I was in my room with my friend. He wasn't even home, and he like walked in, and he texted me a little bit later, and he goes, I need your friend gone by the time I come back. I'm going to sleep. You can go into the library or her dorm. This is my room too, and it was literally 10 o'clock. Okay, 10 o'clock. Now, I was trying to be nice, so I was like, okay, whatever, and we left. A couple days later, I was in the room, and it's starting to get cold out. Like, August had ended, September had started, and it wasn't as hot. It wasn't like 90 degrees every day. And I was freezing in the room because it was 65 degrees. There was literally a sign in the hallway that says, please keep your room at 68 to 72 degrees. So it was, first of all, illegal, basically, what he was doing, but whatever. And I turned it off. I turned off the AC unit when I was in here studying because I was freezing and I literally couldn't breathe. And when I left, I totally forgot to turn it back on. He went off on me, okay? So I was in this, like, we have to do these mandatory drug programs as freshmen, like, to learn about being safe on campus. So I was there, and I noticed that he had sent me this long-ass message on Snapchat, but I couldn't read it because I was at this little, like, this program thingy. But, so, like, I slightly swiped on Snapchat, you know how you can do that to, like, see what they said, and it was really long. So I was like, oh, God, and I just saw the word AC, and I totally realized I forgot to turn it on. So after the thing, I looked at my phone, and I had noticed that he deleted it and sent me a way shorter one, still going off on me about the AC unit. And I was thinking, I was like, I had talked to my mom about this, I talked to my grandma about this, and I talked to a bunch of people about this, and they're like, why do you let him control you like that? Like, it's your room, too. Like, you shouldn't let him, like, think it's his. And he's above you. Because I had been trying so long, so hard to be a good roommate that I totally didn't realize that, wait a minute, this is my room too, not yours. He had been acting like I was a guest in his room, but like, we equally pay for this room, we equally share this room. So don't you dare think that you're above me. Don't you dare think that you own this room more than me. I'm sorry. So, I crafted the best message that I have ever made in my life. I got it checked by my grandma, I got it checked by my mom, and I got it checked by a couple friends before I sent it, because I spent an hour writing this. And oh honey, this will blow your socks off, okay? I tried real hard, and I tried to be nice, and I told him off. I said, sorry, I was at the program thing, and I saw you sent me some long-ass message, but I see you deleted it. Also, I turned off the AC when I was in there studying because it was cold as fuck. I'm sorry I forgot to turn it back on, but may I remind you, this is my room too. We share this room, and I'm sick of you acting like it's your room that I'm a guest in. Yes, I come home late when you are sleeping, but I don't think you understand. I'm sorry if you're an extremely light sleeper, but I literally sneak in the room every night with the lights off and make absolutely no noise. There's nothing I can do about opening or closing my closet door if that makes noise, or if me jumping into my bed makes noise. I wear my earbuds at night, and I turn on my dim lamp for a few minutes after I shower just to tweeze my eyebrows. I am clean, organized, and don't eat or make a mess in our room. I try very hard to be a tolerable person to live with. Maybe I don't like some things you do, but that's what living with someone else is. I honestly don't know what you want from me, and I think it's a little ridiculous that you talk shit about me behind my back about being an art major and or a bad roommate. I still have hard assignments, and I still have hard classes. I don't just draw in my bed all day, and I would appreciate it if you didn't just assume that your life was so much harder than everyone else's. I really try to be your friend. I really try hard to be your friend, try to make conversation, ask you to go to dinner, and get excited when we're in the same club, and the response I get is one word, snarky, or straight up rude. I get you're stressed, because that was his excuse every single time, like, sorry, I'm stressed. I get you're stressed, but we are all stressed, and that can't be your excuse every single time. So you know what? If I want to turn off the AC in my own room, then I can. You may not think it, but I try extremely hard every night to be respectful, and there's honestly no way I can be quieter because I make no noise. Last night I did sneeze a couple times, so I'm sorry if that was loud. Petty. I don't want to fight like this because we are roommates, but I'm getting real tired of you thinking you're better than me or the owner of the room. Let's not fight, but talk this through. Now you can tell me in the comments what you thought about my response, because I crafted that and I spent an hour writing that, trying to be nice, civil, and get on all the points. Now let me remind you, I am extremely organized and extremely clean. Like I said, I don't eat in the room. I don't even touch any of my things. I have OCD and I'm a perfectionist, so like, bitch, you best believe that my stuff is not moved, not touched, looks perfect. I make my bed every morning, and so does he. So like, we are compatible in that sense. Like, he could be living with a slob. I do my laundry every week. There are plenty of college boys who smoke weed in their room, come home drunk, don't do their laundry, eat in the room, mess up their bed, throw their clothes all around. Like, bitch, I don't think you understand how good you have it with me. Like, I'm not trying to be cocky here, but, like, I'm clean and organized. Like, most college boys are not, okay? So he read the message, and no response. No response. A few days goes by, we don't speak, we don't look at each other, we don't even see each other, because we purposely both avoid each other. So as time went on, I would purposely come home super, super late just to avoid him, to make sure he was asleep, because I was so nervous to come home. And guess what? I noticed something. He blocked me on all social media. My roommate that I lived in the same room with blocked me on all social media. Okay, you know, that's fine, but what if I need to contact you? Like, what if I forget my keys? Or, like, what if I need to ask him a question about someone staying over or something like that? Because there was a time when he forgot his keys and he texted me and asked me to bring them to him. And I was like, okay, I can do that. He made me walk all the way to his class, even though I was at my class. I walked across the quad to hand him his damn keys, rips him out of my hand and walks away. And I was like, wait. Like, oh, what happened to your arm? Because he had a cotton swab, like, right here, as if he had just gotten, like, a shot or something. And he goes, blood test, and turns around. I was like, after I walked all the way here with your damn keys? Fuck you. Now, also, let me give you another little backstory. During the first week of college, he was texting me, and he was saying that, like, don't come home. I'm having a boy over. And I was like, what do you mean, don't come home? This is my room. I live here. And he's like, no, don't come home. He's going to sleep over. And I was like, bitch, okay, that's fine, but, like, I need my pajamas, I need to brush my teeth, like, I need to grab my stuff. And he's like, no, you can't. I was like, we are gonna have a problem here, honey. Don't you dare. So I was like, I'll wait as long as I can, I'll stay out as late as I can, but I'm coming home and I'm grabbing my stuff. And he's like, oh my god. Bitch, don't oh my god me. And this was all over text. I was like, how dare you? So, as I was coming home, he was like, wait, actually, can you come back now? This guy's really gross. Like, I want to get rid of him. I was like, bitch, you can't just use me to come back and forth when you need me. That's not how, like, I'm not just your slave. Like, I'm not going to do that for you. So, as I walked in, I saw that guy walking out, and I was like, hello? And that guy was like, oh my god. And long story short, he made me sleep over in my friend's room 2 days in a row after that so a boy could sleep over. At least I got to grab my stuff. Wow, he's so generous. He kicked me out of my own room for 3 days straight, and I had to sleep with my friend just so he could have these disgusting boys over from Grindr that he didn't even know. Also, he tells his friends he's straight. He tells the boys he's bi, and he tells me he's gay. Like, clearly he's insecure about himself. Okay, that's not my problem. Now back to the blocking part. I was like, this is dangerous that we are roommates, and he blocked me on everything. And so I didn't want this to get any more out of hand than it was, and I didn't want him to go to a higher authority and lie to me. So my mom and grandma had convinced me to go talk to the RA or the RD or whatever. So first I talked to a TA, and I said to the TA the whole story, and the TA was like, teacher's assistant. He was like, yeah, okay, this boy sounds crazy. He clearly has some deep down issues that has nothing to do with you. Like, don't... He's like, you know what? First of all, stop apologizing, because I kept saying sorry. I was like, sorry, blah, blah, blah. No. Stop apologizing. He said, this is your room. You live here. You pay for it. Don't you dare apologize. This boy has issues. He said that to me, and I was like, you know what? You're right. You are definitely right. Why am I apologizing for everything I do when this is my room? I live here. So he told me that I should talk to my RA, which is like the person who is in charge of my hallway. Now, my RA is like really bad and very unreliable and not the best. So I went to another RA and I talked to her. And she was like, wow, this boy sounds crazy, like, you should definitely talk to your RA and, like, the RD. The RD is, like, the head of all the RAs, so he's in charge of everything. So I made an appointment with my RA, and I told him everything. He was no help, as expected. So I made an appointment with my RD, and he's like, wow, I agree with you, this boy sounds crazy, like, and you have text receipts to prove it, so, like, we're gonna have to, like, get a meeting between you two and, like, work this out. Because it had been a whole month. 3 weeks had gone by, and we hadn't spoken. We would walk into the room and we wouldn't make eye contact, we wouldn't speak, dead silence, complete awkwardness, and you could feel the tension, like you could cut the tension with a knife. And it was making me very uncomfortable. I never wanted to go to my own room, I felt uncomfortable in my own space, and like, it was torturous. I had nowhere where I could relax, you know what I mean? I eventually, after 3 weeks, everyone was telling me that it was like too much, it's getting out of hand. Because I was like trying to be petty, like, no, I'm not talking to you if you're not talking to me, but eventually it got out of hand. So 3 weeks went by, we didn't speak, we didn't look at each other, and I'm not kidding about that. So eventually, I sat down on my bed and I waited for him to come in, and I was like, hey, Kasey, that was the name. Hey, Kasey, can we talk? And he looks at me and goes, I have no interest in ever speaking to you again. And I was like, why? And he goes, never again. And stormed out to go shower or whatever. And that was the last I've ever spoken to him. Because a couple days later... So think about this, it has been a whole month now since we had spoken. A couple days later, he goes, I'm moving out tomorrow and my family's helping me. We are not going to be quiet just so you can sleep until 4 p.m. So you can choose to either be in the room or not. I really don't care. Bitch, bye. So that was the end of him. Guess what? I woke up, I fake slept the whole time. He purposely slammed all the drawers. He purposely was so rude. He moved out. He took the fridge. He took the rug. You know what? But whatever. He paid for those, so take them. Bye. Bye. And that was the end of him. But what I didn't understand was how he found a room so fast, how he found a roommate so fast. And you know what? Good luck to him, because you know what? Good luck finding a roommate that is like as clean as me and as nice as me. No one is gonna like fit your needs like that. Clearly, and before you say anything, he's not an only child. This makes no sense. Everyone I talk to is like, he must be an only child because he clearly doesn't understand sharing. But no, he's not. He has 2 siblings, which is what I don't get. But he's very stuck up. He's very petty. He's very rude. He's very, very self-centered and cocky. He thinks he's better than everyone and thinks he's above you. And once I stood up to him, that's why he blocked me, because he knew I was right. He had nothing to say back. It was my room. He was shit-talking me. I wasn't lying. He had nothing to say back to me, so he was such a baby that he just had to block me. How sad is that? So as of right now, I live alone in this room, and guess what? I love it. And he now lives in this grosser, older dorm with these granny curtains on it, and I hope, you know, I see him sometimes in the dining hall. I just do that, don't look at him, have no social media contact with him, and that was my first roommate experience. So basically everyone told me that he was a psychopath, and he still talks shit about me to this day, saying that I sleep until 4 p.m. every day. Like, a friend of mine came up to me and she's like, don't you go to class? I was like, bitch, I have 9:30 and 10 o'clock classes. Don't you dare think that I wake up at 4 p.m. every day. I did it once in my whole life, so don't even come at me. So, as of right now, I am happily living in my own room, making my own videos, on my own terms, with my heat on, no more AC, and you know what? I'm thriving, and he's probably dying, and I don't care. So bye, Kasey. Bye, bitch. Hope you enjoy your college experience and stress your life away. Hope your hair falls out. Hope you shrink. Hope you get STDs. Bye. So that was my roommate story, guys. Hope you enjoyed, because I sure didn't. That was sure hell for me. I went through a lot during that month, and in addition to all my schoolwork and tests, that was not fun. So you know what? I'm gonna just give you guys a few tips before you find a roommate. So some tips for you guys to finding a college roommate. If you want to do random, that's totally fine. But if you want to find a roommate, make sure you guys are compatible. Talk before you room. Make sure you have some similar likes and interests. And don't think that's enough, because me and my roommate had some similar interests, but that was clearly not enough. Look out for red flags. And before you decide to room together, talk about your eating habits, your showering schedule, your bedtime schedule, an agreement on if you want to bring someone over to sleep over, to do something inappropriate. Because those things, they don't seem like they matter at the time, but when you move in and live in the same room as someone, oh honey, that makes a big difference, okay? That becomes real important, let me just say. So don't look past things like that, and you know, don't think that you have to stick with your roommate if they're mean or rude or nasty. You can always find another roommate. You can always contact your university housing. They'll be happy to relocate you or work out with you or do something like that. And ultimately, remember, it's your room too. You're equally paying for it. Even if you have a scholarship, even if you're going to college for free, it's still both your room and you're still technically paying for it. So don't think they can own you. Don't think they can boss you around. And just remember, you do you. Don't let them tell you what to do in your own room. It should be a place where you relax, a place where you feel at home, and you can put your pajamas on and be nice and cozy and warm. So like I always say, thanks for watching my depressing ass life. If you have already finished college or you're in college, let me know in the comments if you have any horror stories. I'm sure we all have some roommate story that we'd like to share. And if you're in middle school or high school, get ready for some fun adulting. Life is so fun as you get older, kids. But in reality, thanks for watching the video and hope you enjoyed it. If you want more story times, make sure you check out my weekly videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment, like, and subscribe. Please go comment. Please go subscribe. I can't do it without your subscription. I need your guys' help. I need your love. I need your support. I love you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe. Come on, I'm waiting. And make sure you follow my Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Links are in the description. And the #1 rule on my channel is don't forget to stay ratchet. See you guys. Good luck on your college search.